Hey kitty. Let's make sure it's recording. Yeah, it's recording. Let's see if I'm also pretty. I'm so pretty. Right.
We're filming.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
What are we going to do tonight? Talk about.
We should have probably planned a little bit better than this. It's fuck it.
We are filming.
We are filming.
All right.
Well, look, little red light on there. Little red light. Yeah. Look, I'm pretty sure we're filming. If we're not filming, we'll get hooked up. I'm gonna check. We definitely are filming. Yep, for the last 55 seconds, we've definitely been filming. That's 55 seconds of our life we'll never get back. Hello everybody and welcome to Kevin and Mark Talk About Football.
We talk about football.
We talk about football. We talk about football so that you can be more enlightened, or more likely less enlightened, about football. And I think if we're going to be talking about football right now, the main thing we should be talking about probably is the Euros.
It is the hot topic of conversation at the moment.
The Euros.
The Euros. They're about to kick off.
They're
It's a
between
Thursday right now. They're kicking off tomorrow.
and it's European countries.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's European countries. European countries that used to shoot each other in ditches, now play football.
And I'm here giving solidarity to my homeboys Honduras. Who sadly didn't make it because they're not European.
I think that's racist. I think that's racist, not allowing them in because they're not European. I just want to say that. And on that note, we're done with the Euros because you know shit, it's dull. Okay, so
what's next?
So what we're going to do instead, because the Euros are on and apparently interesting to some people, you folks can go watch that. Whereas we're going to talk about transfer stuff. More award-winning graphics from us. There you go. So, transfer stuff, which is when players move from one club to another, and we're going to deal with the Premier League, and we're going to deal with around about one club a week until we get bored, in which point we will do multiple clubs a week. So basically, we're going to do what we want to, but now it's one club a week. Now the club we're going to deal with, known as the Red Devils, Manchester United, or more recently and accurately, the Glazer Piggy Bank. That's the club on the list today. And our resident expert isn't Kevin, it's the Mark. So Mark, tell us what transfer genius is going to go through Manchester United this transfer window.
I like to check transfer windows.
You do.
And
you get obsessive.
Every off season we get linked to the world's most amazing players. Sorry, by we I mean I'm a Manchester United fan, and nobody's perfect, but we get linked to the best players every year. Ronaldo's coming back. We get Marijuana Fellaini. Next year he's coming back. We get Donny van de Beek, who could be good. We don't know. We haven't played him. But he's for sale. If anyone wants him. So all I can do is just tell you the transfer rumors that get me excited every single year. But I'm gonna focus on current hot topics. And
I think what we can also think about, whilst we're talking about the hot topics, is things that Marouane Fellaini could be useful for. We know on a football pitch, not particularly useful, but just over, and then maybe at the end we can end with a positive for Marouane Fellaini. Things he could actually do, but let's not worry about that right now. Okay. Or we might just not do it because Right, go.
Right here, he could good poofy hair wherever.
Poofy hair, man.
Good poofy hair wherever.
Don't knock the poofy hair.
Okay. But we don't know what Donny van de Beek can do because he hasn't played.
We've seen him play really well for other clubs.
Yeah.
Ajax, but yeah.
walked straight into the Holland team, and sorry about your injury, Donny, but it's Euros. We're not talking about that. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so we're going to start with the current speculations. Should we start up front?
Let's start up front.
Okay, should I waste everyone's time with this one? Harry Kane. Should we even bother?
Yeah, go for it. Harry Kane.
Current price, 150 million. Daniel Levy will not take a penny less.
Well, he's a negotiable guy. He'd take, for instance, maybe you take 152 or 156. He's a negotiable guy, just not down.
You know, if we offered him 150 million, will he come to Manchester United? No. Okay. No. He just won't.
I was going to ease into that. I was going to ease into
competition
the
from Manchester City. Chelsea are interested. All the rumours have it he's going to City. Let's win stuff. Because City's A team and B team are equally good. What if Harry Kane needs a rest and just needs to sit on the bench for half the season and still be a champion? Something he couldn't do at Spurs.
No,
he won't be benched though.
He
won't be benched.
I mean, we don't get silverware at Spurs, but we do get irony.
Spurs fan, we.
Yeah,
get
yeah,
irony.
yeah. That was. But you were paying no attention at all. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I did.
He didn't enjoy it at all. Just missed it completely.
How about this theory that the Glazers are under pressure to deliver because they know what the fans can do? They know when the fans have had enough, they've had enough. They'll raid the stadium. They will be.
I tell you what. If you want to work out whether Joel Glazer knows when it's time to do something about something, have a look at that hair. Have a look at his hair. That is not a man who looks at something and goes, "Oh, I need to do something about that. Shave it all off, thicken it up, what? Do something."
He's got a lovely ponytail
of 17 strands of hair. This is not a man you want to be in charge of.
This one first, he doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good.
Secondly,
maybe if you got Alex Ferguson back in charge.
Speaking of who?
Yes.
So basically, the last time we bought a player from Spurs, it was Dimitar Berbatov, and that was a very long time ago.
Yes, Danny Levy doesn't like selling to Premier League clubs.
We have tried with Gareth Bale. We offered £89 million, still a lot of money.
Yep.
And no, he went off to Real. We offered 50 for Alderweireld, and Danny Levy said, "No, I'm not selling to Manchester United."
Danny Levy now will take less money from a European club rather than sell to a Premier League club.
Okay.
Which is quite something, because Danny Levy doesn't like the phrase taking less money.
Sir Alex Ferguson
said
this about Danny Levy with regards to negotiating for Berbatov. That whole experience was more painful than my hip replacement.
That sounds like it. That's why I think they don't like selling even to Spurs anymore. Yeah. It's too much hassle to deal with Daniel Levy. Okay. So do we just move on from Harry Kane? Because
I didn't expect it to take this long.
He will
talk about realistic transfers.
90% likely he doesn't leave Spurs because he's on a 3-year contract, and Daniel Levy is a difficult guy. He'll leave Spurs next window when there's 2 years left on his contract. Levy can still get good money, and he'll probably go to Europe because by then they'll have some money. COVID will hopefully be over. All right.
Whoa, hang on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
So, what if Manchester City come and say you ask 150, we will give you 150?
Then I think if Harry Kane wants to go, I think the 150 probably comes from Daniel Levy talking to Harry Kane and going, "Listen, look at your numbers, look how good you are. That's what you're worth. That's what we're asking." Harry Kane isn't going to cause a ruckus. He's going to go, "Yeah, no, fair enough." So if somebody comes calling, Harry will then say, "That's the number you said. Come on, let's go." At which point Daniel Levy will try and get 160 because it's Daniel Levy. And you'll wait till everyone else has signed everything and he's the last guy, and you go, "What about 160? And that's why everybody hates dealing with it, because they think a deal is done, and suddenly apparently the man just decides, surely 3 more million under the circumstances is worthwhile.
Apparently hip replacements are quite painful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're very painful.
Let's move on to this next guy, not for the first time. Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho. Oh, don't even talk to me about what position. But look, the good news is he was 108 million euro last year. Now he's 90 million, and we've offered 70. It's been rejected.
Can we just go through
Sources
the basic...
say higher offer to come.
Can we go through the basic policy when it comes, basic transfer policy of Manchester United? Let me try this out on you. Manager comes to you and says, I need a fullback. What do you buy?
A wing.
Centre back. What do you buy?
Daniel Jones, wing.
Striker. What do you buy?
Wing.
But. Central midfielder.
Can I have a Rashford wing and turn him into a striker? He is that.
So apparently, look, the idea apparently is to get the perfect wingers.
Yes.
And then
11.
worry about the rest. No, then maybe sell off some of the wingers and buy the rest of the team. But you've got to get the perfect wingers first. And everybody knows that because that's what made Alex Ferguson's sides great, was the fact that they used wingers and went forward. Because that's what you should do, is you should always look to the past. You should never look forward. Always to the past.
Yeah, we're buying another wing, Jadon Sancho. Okay, and basically his price has gone down. He's 18 million pounds cheaper than he was pre-pandemic. So now we've offered 70, rejected. Apparently a new offer is coming in. I've got to be honest, he's got potential, this kid, but do we need another wing? Do we really need another wing?
He's better than your wings. He's better than any of your wings.
Is he?
Yeah, no, he's better than any of your wings. But you don't need another wing. So you've got to sell a whole lot of players at a point when nobody's buying players. So you're going to have to sell them for very little, probably to Aston Villa or somebody like that. And you know, another great piece of business by the Glazers. But that also means the idea
he's
that they would...
He's a priority at the moment. He is a priority target, and
well, I mean, maybe they think he's going to
sell.
Maybe they think he's going to sell shirts because that's why they brought Pogba in. They thought Pogba will sell shirts. So there you go. Okay, so maybe you get Jadon Sancho. Now, fingers crossed.
Interestingly enough, when we approach our next player, the club has said we're buying one or the other. If we get Jadon Sancho, we are not this guy anymore because it's the same kind of what we want from the player position. Are you ready? Cristiano Ronaldo. Sorry. Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's coming home.
He's coming home.
Except home is Portugal. No, I think this is a much more likely signing for you guys. You don't mind paying big salaries.
Every year he's touted to be a likely signing, and he never comes through.
But this time he will, because he was at Real Madrid where he was the centre of everything. Everyone had to play around him. Then he went to a title-winning side in Italy, okay? And then he was meant to be the X factor that won them the Champions League. They failed to win the Champions League, and now they failed to win their home title. And so it doesn't look like the best move in the world, and you have to ask yourself, is he worth it now? Is he worth £510,000 a week?
He's 36 years old. That's
younger than us.
Yeah, it's younger than us. But by football standards,
but I wouldn't pay me £510,000 a week to play football.
£510,000 a week. Why would you leave Juventus if you're under that contract? He's not out of contract.
No.
Why would he leave? Why would Manchester United will not pay him £510,000?
You don't reckon so? I mean, you're willing to pay Paul Pogba, who likes to swan around and do no work. You're like 500, 600.
Oh, come on, give it to Ronaldo.
It's some sort of ridiculous
Give it
money.
to Ronaldo.
But yeah, if he goes somewhere, but I think the only place he could go is PSG. If he does go somewhere, then maybe you bring in Cristiano Ronaldo, who can also swan around doing nothing. I mean, everybody should have that one player.
Here's the issue: regardless of what you pay him, Italy doesn't charge him as much tax. He doesn't like to pay tax.
He's well known for not liking tax.
Because I don't know, rich people just can't.
Yeah.
But there are some clues. He's not being used to advertise their new kit.
All right.
For the first time since he's gone to Juventus.
Then he is leaving because he's a shirt sale.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
The new Juventus coach, Allegri, wants Pogba back. So there's insane talk of Pogba goes, we get Ronaldo and cash.
So
Ronaldo and cash for Pogba.
Are Juve still owned by the mafia? Can they come up with some money?
We don't talk about.
Don't talk about it.
There's no such thing.
There's
There's
no
no
such
such
thing.
thing.
Because if they're not owned by somebody who has a lot of money, then they don't have any either, because all of Italy is in poo.
What's your point?
My point is that
Ronaldo's coming home.
and Pogba's going the other way.
The other way, plus cash. Can you envisage a world?
There has to be. There has to be 50 or 60 million and Cristiano Ronaldo for Paul Pogba.
Okay, where do I sign? Come on.
Well, nowhere, because you're not Joel Glazer. I can tell because you've got poofy hair,
Thank
and
you.
he doesn't.
Thank you for saying that.
I don't know why.
I'm feeling
It's
extra.
good poofy hair. Yeah.
Just to let you know, the 36-year-old kid in Serie A got 29 goals in 33 games. He got their equivalent of the Golden Boot, and that is 6 more goals than Harry Kane. Less games played. The guy still got it. And we're talking about a league which focuses on defence. It's the Italian league.
But it is also a league that you don't have to move around quite as much. Italian-style football. There's lots of walking and light jogging. And Premier League, for a 36-year-old, it's a bit harsh. You've got to be a genetic freak like Teddy Sheringham, okay, to play up front in the Premier League.
Teddy.
But do you know, I always used to believe
Which one should they buy?
Teddy Sheringham.
Alright, thank you. Let's move on.
He's only 50.
Out of Jadon Sancho and Cristiano Ronaldo, they can only buy one. Which one should they buy?
Teddy Sheringham.
Teddy Sheringham. Next.
And on we move.
No, but let's not move on. Why Jadon Sancho?
How we're not
because
directors of football, I do not know. Why have you not hired us as directors of football? We have such good advice. Sorry, why Jadon Sancho? I love the way you turn the page.
Over Ronaldo.
Oh, I love the way you turn the page and the assumption was already made, wasn't it? Which way I was going to go.
Different transfer.
All right, okay.
Different transfer.
Jadon Sancho is simply because Cristiano Ronaldo is coming towards the end of his career, and you need to build a team, not again look to the past. If your tactics are going to look to the past.
29 goals in 33 games, 6 more than Harry Kane in less games played in the Serie A.
Right. Do
machine.
players always manage? Yeah, but he doesn't have those numbers in the Premier League that often. I mean, he had good numbers, don't get me wrong. He had great numbers in his prime in the Premier League, but they weren't the numbers that you can put up in Spain or Italy. Okay? Because in Spain and Italy, for the most part, the game is slower, unless you're playing Atletico Madrid.
You make a valid point, sir, and here is my retort.
No, retort away.
He's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's Cristiano.
But then your whole team has to learn to play around him.
I put it down
to do that for just 2 years.
Put it down to one question: do Manchester United want to win things now, or do we want to build a team for the future to maybe win things later? If Jadon Sancho in the future is good enough to do it, or do we want a guy that's going to win things now?
Who's your manager?
Cristiano Ronaldo. We know nothing about football.
He's
on the field. He can manage.
Who's your manager at Manchester United?
You know the answer.
Yes. So are you building for the future, or are you likely to win things now?
Let's win things now.
Yeah, okay, we'll get another manager.
Okay. I'm not talking about managers.
I know, but my point is bringing Cristiano Ronaldo in doesn't make Ole a great manager.
No, I'm saying who's going to win us stuff.
Jadon Sancho and a new manager.
Okay.
In maybe 2 years. Shall we move on?
Yeah, what's the point if we're not going to win anything this next year? Anyway, let's go. Right, I'm grumpy now. Okay, next midfielder, Grealish. Haven't been linked with him. I just mentioned him because he's good, and you know what? Why not? Why can't we get Grealish? Why can't we get Grealish? And you know, no point.
Because
he's 100 million pounds.
Beer.
He's 100 million pounds. There's no link whatsoever. So I just mentioned him because maybe he's a player we should get because he's amazing. Okay, here's a 100 million pound player that we are linked with. Declan Rice. Is he Jack Grealish?
I would like.
No,
I would
but
like. I would like.
yes, he's better in his own position. His position of being a hard enforcer.
I would like to
midfielder,
dispute the phrase £100 million player.
valued at.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, he's maybe a 40 or a 50 million pound player because of the English premium, because of the English rules. He gets a premium, but he is maybe he's in £100 million contract for getting out of it. Fair enough, but he's not a £100 million player.
Basically, West Ham value him so much that they won't let him go for anything less than £100 million. So
Then you wait 2 years when he's run his contract down a bit, and you pick him up for 40 or 50.
Yeah.
You don't pick him up now. Too many clubs are. I mean, you guys, you're a powerhouse of a club, right? This whole idea where you have to, you want to get back to the point where you're making 2 good purchases every season, and you're planning far ahead.
Don't
And
you
if a guy's
find
not
the big
available,
Alex Tellez? That was last season's chess move.
and both of them
Are very, very
players.
good.
They're both good
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
They're both good players. No complaints whatsoever.
We don't know. How do we know that? They haven't played.
Because we saw them playing for previous clubs. That's how we know. Oh dear.
Don't get me wrong, Declan Rice is incredible at what he does. He's a hard ball-winning, aggression, defensive.
You haven't had anybody that good since Roy Keane in that position. I think.
We do have a young Scott McTominay who shouldn't be ignored. And
Yeah.
a not so young
And
Fred.
I like his aggression and his attitude.
Yeah,
But
he's good.
he's more, but McTominay's more Darren Fletcher than Roy Keane. A guy who will do everything you ask him to. But we were hoping he was going to turn into a Roy Keane type, but he hasn't managed to do that. He doesn't seem like a leader. He doesn't look like one of them.
Fred's had a good season. The consensus is we want someone better. And Matic, love him.
But
He's getting on.
Fred, I would say he's now had a good season. Try and get your money back.
Yeah.
I don't think he's. If you want to win things, I don't think he's the guy for you.
So Declan Rice is £100 million. Is he our guy?
I'd say he's your guy when he comes down to £50 million. I think he's your guy to build your team, but I don't. It was it's craziness.
There is so much focus on getting this guy. To the
Like
point that
Jadon
we are
Sancho
not-
last year.
Yeah.
To the point where you don't do anything
And Ronaldo
else.
every year.
Yeah.
And
This could be one of those things that just rolls on and
I'm
on.
sorry, but I'm
and you lose
impatient.
all focus.
I'm your typical Man United fan. I'm impatient. I want to win stuff. I've been very patient, more patient than I should be, and Ronaldo to win.
Do you know
stuff.
what it's time for?
we're
Do you know what it's
jumping to
time for
Ronaldo.
with your impatience? Yellow and green. That's what it's time for.
Great,
Change those colours.
great colours.
All right.
Let's get back to Declan Rice.
Yes.
We're really undecided. We like the concept of him. He
Yeah.
fits in, but
Yeah.
100 million.
No.
Heavy. Okay, let's go to defense. Now we're looking at a right back because what we really need is someone to sit on the bench for Wan-Bissaka, who's amazing. Okay, Wan-Bissaka is amazing. Do we need another right back? Yes. Depth of squad. Kieran Trippier is the guy we're after.
Buy him now. Get
Well,
him, buy him.
we want him so badly. We offered £10 million.
I'm a Tottenham fan. I'm telling you.
We offered
I was
£10 million.
gutted when we sold him. It was a stupid idea. He's a great right back. They love him in Spain. Technically gifted. Doesn't have the pace of a traditional wing back, which is why Spurs, I think, looked at moving on. His whole moving on was weird. Okay, it didn't feel like we should get rid of him, but we did.
You sold him for £22 million.
It's insane.
And there was a
insane
reason.
money.
Okay, he was injury plagued that whole season.
Yeah, because he was never given a shot.
Riddled? Or should I
No,
not
riddled. A single
Played.
injury
Riddled.
that he played through for the entire season instead of going off and getting it fixed. So he committed to the
You
club
sold him
to
for his
play.
commitment.
Yeah, it's just nuts to me.
£22
Absolutely
million
nuts.
pounds.
The day Kyle Walker was sold by Tottenham Hotspur for £54 million, leaving Kieran Trippier to take over, was such a happy day. Because that guy, he's an athlete, but he's no footballer. You may as well have bought Hussein Bolt to play on the right wing back. It's about the same basic concept.
Usain Bolt tried out.
I know.
He did try.
I know, but it's that concept.
They took Kyle.
No, Usain Bolt tried out for you guys. But, it's the same basic concept. Not much of a footballer, incredible athlete. And that's it's unfortunately, if you're coaching young kids or you're coaching anybody coming through, when people have a single asset that makes it easy for them, the rest of their game almost always suffers. It's why people like Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi and Harry Kane become great. Well, actually not Harry Kane, because he doesn't have a single thing he does incredibly well. He does everything very well, and that's what makes him a great player. But the other two, the fact that they kept on trying to improve their game the whole way through their career, you've got to respect that, because they could have just kept a couple of things and had a very good career without working very hard. Like Andros Townsend.
He's not even on the menu.
Although we recently found out he had a gambling addiction.
I hope
which
he gets
destroyed.
over it, Andros.
Yeah, which actually that messed up his career. So all the
Okay.
ideas I had about why his career failed were wrong.
Always bet on the team you're playing for to not win. Take the double chance. It doesn't pay as much, but you're guaranteed. Sorry.
That's it. Yeah. No,
Okay.
that's the way to talk to a gambling addict.
Okay, back to Trippier.
Yeah, buy him.
Okay, but you sold him for 22.
Buy him now.
You sold him for 22.
Yeah.
Okay, now
You
can you believe Atletico?
after an awesome season?
Rumors have it Atletico won 35. It makes no sense to me. And
Okay.
we've offered 10.
So when you've got a player that you're buying that doesn't have pace, what goes wrong in their game as they get older?
They lose in a sprint match to Kyle Walker.
Yeah, but they were already doing it.
Okay.
So it's another thing. It's again why Teddy Sheringham, what he played till 39. No, he played I think a game in the Premier League when he was 40.
You
And
like
you go,
Teddy Sheringham, don't you?
No, I just think he's a genetic freak
As a
who could play
Spurs
for
fan,
everyone.
as a Spurs fan, you've found the player that appeals to both Spurs
Do you
and
know?
Manchester
Do
United.
you know what?
You don't talk
you know what
about
I like the
Berbatov
most?
at all.
I love
It's
Berbatov.
Teddy that.
I love Berbatov.
Teddy that.
Not his dad so much, but I do love Berbatov.
We'll get there.
So anyway, the key with Teddy Sheringham was I always thought he was one of those obsessive guys who, like, my body is a temple, looked after it and everything, and that's how he got to the age of 40. Everybody who was ever his roommate said, nah, he drinks, he ate crisps, he had the worst diet in the world. He was just a genetic freak. He could just, he didn't do any training off season, and he'd just turn up, just bang, he'd just go. They must have hated him. But anyway, that's why I find Teddy Sheringham interesting. Go. So yeah, Trippier, buy him. Do it, buy him. Even at 35 million
It's going to
pounds.
cost 35 million.
He was, I think, the leading assister for Tottenham Hotspur the one a year when we had Ericsson in the team.
Well, he's fantastic.
Okay, he's just
You
incredible.
can put him on free kicks.
Yeah.
You can put.
Do you know you could get a target man up
corners from
front?
one side.
You could get a target man up front, like I don't know. You could buy Lukaku from Italy, put him up front.
We're not buying Lukaku.
Not buying Lukaku.
We're not buying Lukaku, and
All
we'll
right.
pay double if we do, and the Glaciers aren't going to eat that donut. Anyway, Lukaku, you're amazing. Well done on being Player of the Year in Serie A. The year after we sold you, and how many goals did he bang in? I lost count a long time ago.
Who knows? Was
Anyway, Kieran Trippier has also stated he loves the sunshine every single day. He's happy at Atletico Madrid. That's just won the La Liga because of him.
Yes.
And
partially because of him.
yeah. At the end of the day, we do offer more than the 35 they're asking. Where do we play him? We have Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Where are we going to play him?
You play him tactically rather than in every single game.
Can we put Wan-Bissaka in front of Trippier? Can you imagine
What you-
Wan-Bissaka as if they're not? Like I said, back to Declan Rice.
Yeah.
If Wan-Bissaka plays, if we get Trippier, Wan-Bissaka plays in front of the defense, and that tackling, playing the Declan Rice
you might
role,
make that, but I would say, I would say that if you wanted to have an adaptable system where you could play three at the back, then you play Trippier as a wing back and let him focus on getting those pinpoint crosses into the box and then coming back and helping defense rather than a four-man defense.
listen,
and then
you've
four-man
got to be
defense,
simple.
Wan-Bissaka.
We're talking about coaches. Oh God, can we edit this? Sorry, Ole.
We don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
We love Ole. We just, don't think he's Alex
Wan
Ferguson.
Bissaka